Hello and welcome to the Scott Sportscast Fantasy Football League Week 14 matchups, aka the last chance to make the dance. I'm joined today with my co-hosts Jeremy and George. How are y'all doing?
What's up, guys? What's up, guys? Glad to be here. Let's talk some football.
Yo, what is going on, Scott Sportscast Nation? We're here. We're in the building. We're breaking down our last week's matchups, and we're getting into the final week of fantasy football. The hype is real. The playoffs are close. The playoffs are close. So last week to really make some noise here.
Oh yeah, definitely. And it is tight. There is zero room for errors. Okay, so
I'm already making errors.
All right, so let's take a look and see where the standings lie heading into the final stretch here. We have Bang Bang Niner Gang staying on top with a one-game lead over second and third place. Second place, we got the Yaga Man and What in the Hell, and they're up by one game on 8-3. Up one game on Bravehearts, and Mariota had a little lamb. So a loss for the second and third place, and a win by the third and fourth and fifth place to make things really interesting. So y'all better win your matchups if you want to make it. So let's go ahead and take a look at what had transpired last week. We'll head over here to the game center. How do you guys feel about coming down to the final stretch here?
Feel good about
I feel nervous, man. I'm not gonna lie, I'm nervous. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to make it in, but I'm gonna do everything I can to. George seems pretty confident.
Confident, ready.
I love it. That was great.
Yep. So
I believe in my Yaga Man.
It's better to be nervous now than on game day. So, we need to go to the last week and see what had happened. Well, I don't want to talk about this game. So 139 to a 98 blowout for Bang Bang Niners Gang, doing what he needed to do. Let's see. Yep, Trubisky did all right. 15 points is about what you could ask for him. David Montgomery had himself a wonderful day, and Tyreek Hill also performed decently. It just was not able to keep up with the powerhouse. So 27 points for Devontae Adams. Most of his players going about 20 points and above. Tough one. So kudos to you, Bang Bang. You got me.
Bang Bang.
Bang Bang. Old Cactus Jack reference for y'all who don't know. Now we head on over to the Yaga Man taking on Big Mick Scott Lombardi, who has been on a terror of late, knocking off Braveheart, What in the Hell, and almost got her third playoff team win. 9-point win here for Yaga Man. Why don't you talk us through this?
That's an 11-point win. It feels good to win by double digits.
Oh yeah.
So anytime you can do that, you did good. in my eyes. So a double-digit win, solid.
Oh,
Did what we needed to do. Played a tough team, but we had to put that fire out. You know what I mean?
exactly. Keep the playoff hopes alive. So, from what it looks like is really Aaron Rodgers came to play just like we thought he would. Michael Thomas turning back to form, and your kicker going off.
Yeah, he's a Yaga.
That's right.
But
And
yeah,
then,
Derrick Henry was struggling, and that's never good with your first round pick, struggling that way. So he's gotta get back on track against Jacksonville this week. So hopefully he returns to form.
yeah, and it looks like just too many under 10-point scores for Big Mick Scott Labardi to get this one done. So nice. And that pushed you to keep your spot in second place. Very nice. Now let's look at the next matchup. The 8-3-1 Marmadens dropping 1-2. Mariota had a little lamb. 131-91. Big win. So we have Patrick Mahomes getting outdueled by Derek Carr. I don't think we've seen that one coming, but good on you. And then a nice whopping 0 here for the running back for the Chiefs, Edwards Hilaire. That one was probably the biggest momentum shift in this game here. And then, who is that? Oh. And so Delaney Walker and Derek Carr both went off for 30 points. So that's a big reason why Mariota was able to get the win, keeping him in the hunt for the playoffs and dropping 8-3-1 Marmadens down to tied with him. So interesting coming down here. So
yeah, that was the matchup to watch this week. That one had a lot of, winner has a chance to still make the playoff. Loser is pretty much, done for the season. So Mariota, pulled out a crucial win there. That one was pretty much for all the marbles.
oh yeah, and he showed up in big fashion. So we got our last game of the week last week was What in the Hell taking on Braveheart, and a couple zeros on Braveheart's side really hurt them, but big win here, 137-84, probably the biggest deficit this week. So why don't you go ahead and walk us through this one? What in the hell?
Yeah, man. I mean, I beat him earlier in the season, and I guess he knew it was going to happen again, so he didn't even really bother on setting his lineup. You know what I mean? So, but I had Lamar Jackson, man. He led my team really with 27.1 points, man. He had 107 passing yards, which is really not that great at all. But he had 94 rushing yards, 2 touchdowns, and 1 interception. But he also had 1 rushing touchdown to kind of make up for that. He's solid. Actually put 27.75, man. It's pretty solid. Happy with that one. I mean, with Will Fuller's suspension, that kind of screwed me over. And I was worried that Lamar Jackson wasn't going to be able to perform as well just because he was coming off the COVID list, didn't know what to expect. It was an awkward day for the game. It was on a Wednesday night. There's a lot of things going into it where I was nervous about, especially with this kind of intensity of where we're at right now in our league, man. I was a nervous wreck. My palms are sweating, boy, let me tell you.
I mean, the only benefit of not being in the playoff picture is my palms aren't sweaty anymore.
But yeah, man, I mean, my other players really performed well, and I mean, shit, they got the job done,
Right. In a big way. So nice. So that's how we ended up getting the rankings that we have now. So let's go ahead and move over
You know what,
to
real quick,
the.
I'm sorry, I just want to add one more thing to it is I was worried about Chris Carson not performing, but he ended up outperforming Alvin Kamara, man, and that one kind of blew me away.
Oh yeah, Chris Carson had himself a day, even though the Seahawks really did not.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we got our new week here, week 14, the final stretch, the last lap. Now we have the most important game of the season outside of each playoff game. So let's take a look at the matchups. We have Braveheart taking on Big Mix Scott Lombardi. And it looks like the Rams defense is having a great night so far tonight.
Yeah, they are.
A couple of defensive touchdowns will usually get you some pretty good points. And let's take a look at the rest of our matchup for this one. We have Watson and the gang. I just don't know, especially now that all of True's 0 players are off their bye week, that they'll probably be able to put up some points this week. Talking about Mike Evans and Gronk. So I got to take Bravehearts in this one. It's just going to take a phenomenal day by Watson going against a really tough secondary without his best receivers there. And then you have Aaron Jones playing Detroit, so he may get 4 touchdowns. You never know.
Yeah, and one of the biggest ones I see is Brandon Cooks there, man. He's questionable with the neck injury. And if he doesn't play, that could be a problem, but it's still, it's a day-to-day injury. I know he was a limited participant in practice and such. And also his foot as well. So that's 2 injuries for this starter that she has in there that she should really start looking into.
Oh yeah, definitely. What say you, George?
Give me Big Mick Scott Lombardi with the upset. I like this one. I think that, if she changes out Brandon Cooks, like you said, adjust her lineup a little bit, man, she's got a shot to win because, she's been putting up a lot of points. And when you consistently score over 100 points, you got good shots to win. And Bravehearts, he hasn't been scoring in the hundreds recently. So I kind of like it as an upset.
All right. I like it. So
She's got Hollywood Brown down there, right? Is that Hollywood
Yep.
Brown? It's Hollywood Brown, it's not a bad switch up.
Oh yeah. Okay, so difference of opinion here on the win. So it'd be interesting to see who's right come next week.
Who did what in the hell take?
Oh, I'm going Bravehearts here. Unless she can, do some damage, but I mean, it really depends, man. But I'm gonna go Bravehearts. I mean, that defense is already setting them off.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so it'll be interesting. There's still a lot of other players to play, but when your defense puts up over 25 points, I mean, what more could you ask from your defense? Okay, so let's take a look at this matchup here. We have the host that boasts, the one, the only, 8th place. Taking on Mariota. Had a little lamb coming off a huge week last week. If we go off the projections, it says it's going to be a close one, but when the hell can you go off the projections? I'm able to have Tom Brady back in the lineup this week, and Robbie Anderson as well, going against Denver. So he's got a good shot to go off. I'm putting him in over Tyler Lockett
Ooh,
solely
I don't know.
based on the fact that Metcalf against the Jets is going to get all the looks. It's happened every time against bad teams. Metcalf goes off for over 100 yards and a touchdown, and Tyler Lockett's sitting there in the corner wishing he could play too. So that's one that I really gotta think on. At least I got a couple days to think about it.
That's a hard one to choose. That's hard.
Yeah, that is. And
Yeah,
Allen
but
Robinson, questionable, limited in practice, but still he'll play and he'll be the number one targeted receiver on the Bears, Mitchell Trubisky's favorite target. So we'll see how
You
that
got
one
the
works.
one and only cheetah, Tyreek Hill. Not
Yep.
even fair.
If he could go off for another 47 points, well, should be sitting pretty. But David Montgomery, how's the Texans' run defense been? So hopefully he can do something. About as good as the Bears' offensive
Montgomery's
line,
gonna
huh?
eat on the Texans, man. Yeah, we got no run defense. I mean, it's okay. It depends, bro. Some weekends they show up, some weekends they don't. You know,
I
we don't
believe it.
against Derrick Henry. I'll tell you that much.
That's just like my offensive line. So it's like, all right, who's going to show up more, the defensive line or our offensive line? So as long as Derek Carr doesn't go crazy this week, I could definitely see me winning. Give
he's
me
going up
the
against a
host
good
that
defense.
boasts. Give me the host that boasts in a neck-and-neck battle coming down to just a couple weird scores on for some of the players on Mariota had a little lamb. Who you got, Jordan?
Oh, this one's close. I definitely think that you have a great shot to win. I think that you can play spoiler and maybe get a spoiler win here. I see it happening. I'm taking the host that boasts in a close one. Single digit win.
Okay.
Oh, what say you, Jeremy?
I think the host that boasts is honestly going to take it by a good chunk of points. And the reason why I'm saying that is because I'm looking at Derek Carr going against Indianapolis. I'm going against was it Mariota had a little lamb, solely because of that, and also because he has Travis Kelce going against Miami. And if you guys haven't heard about that Miami defense yet, that defense is for real, man. And I believe the corner that's been covering tight ends has been just completely shutting down tight ends. I know I'm talking about Travis Kelce here, but I do believe that defense is going to lock them down, man. And then he's got the Bills defense going up against Pittsburgh. So that's not going to work out, in my opinion. I know Pittsburgh is coming off their first L against a really kind of questionable loss there, but I mean, they're still going to come back bigger than ever, man. And so it's going to be tough. And you got Stephon Diggs going against Pittsburgh's defense as well. I'm actually not too familiar with their pass defense, but
well, their defense
yeah, man,
has been playing well. They're not getting blown out of any games. The scores aren't huge against them, so I expect it to be a little bit more of the same this week.
Yep. And I mean, yeah, man. So I think the host that boasts is going to take it by a good little chunk.
Woo! So that means Mariota's winning.
Right? Probably.
All right. Cool.
Like,
got my confidence up a little bit. Yeah. So our next matchup we got is the 831 Marmadens taking on the Yaga Man in what may be the most important matchup this week. Oh, Yaga Man cannot afford a loss, and Marmadens desperately needs a win for a shot at the dance. So
I'm pretty much locked into the playoffs. So I mean, it's not a must win for me, but what I would have to do is I'm just deciding, should I rest my starters, before the playoffs, that type of thing. So I don't know. I'm just gonna decide what I want to do.
Dumbass, ass and asses.
But all my players have some pretty good matchups. You know, I should win this week. Jesse has a good team. Patrick Mahomes can always go off. You know, his players always have a shot to go off. But I think my team is just gonna be more consistent from top to bottom of the roster rather than just a couple key players.
Now, I didn't get to catch the Chiefs game last week, but with Edwards Hilaire getting 0 points, does that mean that Le'Veon was getting everything? Did he take
Le'Veon was
over
in
that
there.
starting job? So if he puts up another 0, it might be a wrap early.
And I mean, he's going against that
And-
Miami defense.
And right now, Robert Woods, what is it? Halftime, he only got 3 points. If he can only get 6 points by the end of the game, and Edwards Hilaire does what he did last week, I could see a big win here for Yaga Man. I'm gonna take Yaga Man in this.
I'm gonna have to agree. I'm going Yaga Man as well. Interesting how you got Herbert in there over Rodgers against Detroit, though.
Yeah,
I'm looking at that right now.
Rodgers needs to
I
go.
what I say? I was thinking about resting my starters.
Yeah,
I wasn't joking.
And I mean, against Atlanta,
Yeah.
Herbert against Atlanta is a pretty good matchup.
I
It
know
is, it
it's
is.
also a good matchup, and Hubbard, man, when he goes off, he can go off.
You got
So-
Henry against Jacksonville. Whew. That's gonna be easy cooking.
Yeah,
Michael
just a
Thomas
good
against
matchup.
Philly.
I just, it's one of those weeks where I just got a lot of better matchups on paper.
Yeah, it looks that way. Okay, so we all taking Yaga Man in this one?
Yep.
All right.
Ooh wee.
And our final matchup, which is probably going to be the matchup of the week here. The number 1 Bang Bang Niner gang taking on number 3 What in the Hell?
Ooh, big game.
Big game. Well, let's take a look at what's happening here. Kyler Murray versus the Jets. Oh, that's a good matchup. He hasn't been putting up his normal 30 points a week, which is good. So hopefully, for What in the Hell, that continues. I would worry. Oh, Robinson is questionable, so we'll have to see if he plays. Devontae Adams against Detroit is gonna eat, and Mark Andrews just does Mark Andrews thing. A. Brown is questionable as well, so that's not looking good for Bang Bang if those hold true. And let's see What in the Hell here. Lamar Jackson. Enough said. Alvin Kamara. Chris Carson questionable, so you'll have to keep an eye on that one, even though he went off last week.
Yeah, you know what? It's only a toe injury, and he's being limited in practice. And the same goes for Carlos Hyde. They're actually both kind of dealing with the injury right now. But from what I've read, it doesn't seem to be too serious. But I'm definitely going to keep a close eye on it.
Nice. Jarvis Landry against Baltimore. Interesting
Cool.
matchup there. I'm not sure who really has the edge in that one.
It's going to be a good game.
It's looking like this is going to come down to the replacements if replacements are made. Now, Justin Jefferson, he could go off for 30 on any given night. I expect him to get probably around 20 points against who is that? Tampa Bay. But Tampa Bay got a pretty good defense, so hopefully for What in the Hell they can limit him. I think that this one, this is my coin flip of the week right here. I'm gonna take What in the Hell just because Bang Bang kicked my ass last week. That's the only reason. Biased answer here. What in the hell? Get it done.
I'm pulling for what in the hell, but I gotta take Bang Bang in this one. I think that he just had man, both teams have good matchups. It's gonna be close, but I think that he just is gonna be able to get it done because he always does every week.
He just has home run hitters, man.
Yeah,
He's got all the guys that get 70-yard touchdowns.
you gotta put up a lot of points in order to beat him. So it's like you gotta score at least 130.
Yeah.
It's tough.
Yeah. What say you? What in the hell?
You know what, man? It's going to be a close matchup. I'm going to keep a close eye on DeAndre Hopkins because he's questionable with a neck and back injury. Now, that could be a good thing for me. That could be a bad thing for me. Either way, he has Kyler Murray. If he's throwing to Hopkins, that's going to benefit both of us. But again, I don't know if he's going to be well enough to play. And if he does play, who knows what those injuries are really going to, how big of an impact those injuries are going to make on him, you know? And
Exactly.
Kyler Murray without Hopkins, I mean, he's still a beast, but he is losing a solid receiver that he would normally, go to.
His number
So
one.
if he doesn't play, that might also benefit me as well as kind of not benefit me. It's one of those weird weeks, man.
A little 2-for-1 action going on.
Yeah. I'm probably gonna end up throwing in Chase Edmonds. I mean, he's going up against the Giants. I know he has Kenyon Drake over here. I noticed he's questionable. Now I'm not sure what kind of injury he's dealing with. Oh, it's a hip injury. He was limited, so that's interesting. So he's got a hip injury, including a slight ligament tear in his ankle that sidelined him in week 9. Okay, so I'm going to keep an eye on that injury as well, see where he's at whenever he gets closer to the game. And if he's out, I'm going all the way with Chase Edmonds. He was a good little waiver pickup that I went off with. And honestly, one of my favorite waivers I got, though, Young Hoku, man. Kid is a baller. Oh, man.
I had to drop him. I had to drop him when he got hurt. And so I had to drop him, pick up a new kicker. Did bad, and then I was able to pick up the number 1 kicker, which is Miami's kicker, Sanders. So I was like,
Nice.
Okay. If not, I would have been missing Koo big time.
Yeah. I expected more from Cooper Kupp. Right now, he's only at 2.6 for me, which is not that good, seeing that it's already the third quarter. Brandon Ayuk going against Washington. Now, this one, that's why I picked him over Hopkins, actually. I think that's going to be a solid matchup. I think he might perform well. I don't think the Niners are going to win that one, though. I am going Washington on that game. But, yeah, I think Ayuk will at least get his fair share of touches for sure.
Oh, yeah.
And then, yeah,
They
Matt
like
Kamara against
throwing
Philly.
him wide receiver screens, and man, as soon as he turns that corner, he can do it. So
It's going to be close, man. But honestly, I kind of do see Bang Bang Niner game taking it as well. I'm not going to lie to you. Just because of his players, man, they're probably going to go off.
Usually do. It's going to come down to those questionables, really, this matchup. So got to keep an eye on how this one develops. This will be
Any
an interesting
given
matchup.
Sunday. Any given Sunday, anything can happen. You never know. That's why we play the game, Coach.
To Wednesday night.
All right, so let's go around the horn here and see who do you guys have as your upset of the week?
Upset of the week. What in the hell? Taking out the number 1 guy.
That would be solid ass upset. Good pick, George.
I think I'll have to go with Big Mick Scott Lombardi getting it done this week against Bravehearts. I could see that upset happening if the rest of his players don't go off. So, what about you, Jair?
Um, yeah, man, I think I'm gonna have to go with me winning over Bang Bang Niner Gang as well, man. That would be a great upset in my eyes, you know. So I'm gonna have to
That'd
go
be a
with that
good
one.
one. That would be a good one. Okay, so our coin flip match of the week. Who do you think's going to have the closest matchup this week?
Man.
I might have to take the host at Boast and Mariota had a little lamb on this one. I think this one's going to be razor thin.
I agree. I was honestly gonna say that.
I'm also taking that game.
Yeah, the other one could be A31 and the Yaga Man. That one might be closer than we think. Okay, and your locks of the week. Who do you guys have winning for sure?
I'm gonna have to go with Bravehearts. That's my lock of the
Braveheart.
week.
Nice. If we're looking at the games, I think that's pretty much the only one.
Yeah, I'm also taking Bravehearts.
Yeah. I think I'm going to have to agree. All these other ones seem like anybody could win, but this one just seems like it might be set in stone.
Yeah.
Oh, but who knows? This has been the craziest football season. This has been the craziest fantasy football season. This has been just a shit show. Of a
All
season.
around, man. It's been fun and entertaining all at the same time, and stressful and irritating. Like
Yeah.
it's been a roller coaster.
It's been the craziest fantasy season of all time, for sure.
Oh yeah. Whenever we do our reflection show after, we'll get everyone back on and just be like, okay, so that happened. We'll have a nice discussion about that. Well, other than that, is there any closing comments we want to make here about this week?
Go Texans.
Go Button the Hellions.
I just wanted to thank everybody for tuning in, stopping by, hanging out with us for a little bit. Good luck to everybody in their final week of fantasy football. If you did your leagues right, you could be doing your leagues wrong by going to week 17 playoffs, which is never, never, never a good thing. Don't do that in your leagues. Make sure you play the right way. Go to week 16.
Yeah.
So it could be
you
the final
you
week
need
here.
all the players to play instead of resting them week 17. That'll ruin your team.
It's the final week, so make sure you're making your best decisions. If you have any questions, if you want any advice, always hit us up on our social media at the Scott Sportscast. And, we just want to thank you for tuning in.
Yep. What George said.
Yeah, ditto.
Yep. So make sure that you follow us on all our social media. I want to thank everybody. We just hit 500 follows on the Facebook page. We got over 2,000 downloads now, and things are really doing well, and the support has been impeccable. But one thing I urge you to do, go hit that subscribe button. It takes half a second. It's free, and it does tremendous wonders for the channel. So we'll be able to grow and implement new things and technologies, some more subscriptions that we get. So encourage your friends, your family, your coworkers. Make a Facebook account or a YouTube account for your animals. Do what you got to do. But we appreciate it. And everybody, have yourselves a great night and best luck to you going into the playoffs. Bear down.